Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to create my Butterfly Kisses bracelet. You can play around with the color combination to get a little bit of a different look, as you can see here. I did a little bit of a different one here. I am going to be doing this style today because it's easier. This one is much harder to figure out on your own. So if you want this style, let me know and I will make a short or post a picture or something so you can get that color combination. Also, I will not be doing a full length bracelet today, but the bracelet comes out to be 5 inches big, and then I do an extension. So for that, you will need 141 bands total. The breakdown of that is 62 of this burgundy, which does include the extension bands. You need 12 of the burgundy in the center, 12 of this sheer pink in the center. You will need 24 of the turquoise and 20 of the yellow. So let's go ahead and get our supplies ready. Don't forget you will need one C-clip, and I will explain the loom setup in just a moment. To make this bracelet, you will need to have at least one loom. If you only use one loom, it will be about this big, so you will need more extension bands. For today's video, I am using 2 looms. So I have my one set up in a stagger position. My second one will be connected right in front of it where the long blue base is. If you want a full wraparound bracelet without an extension, you will have to connect a third loom in front of that. But like I said in the intro, I am using 2 looms. It gets a 5-inch bracelet, and I will be adding extension bands at the end. So the first thing we're going to do is choose the border color, and that is the burgundy on this one. I'm going to use olive green. We're going to start by laying one in the center, and that's for closing it later. We're going to go out to the left and the right. And now we're just going to go up the sides. Now, that is my first one there. Counting from this first one, you're going to lay 23 of them if you're doing 2 loom lengths like me. So lay 23 straight ones, and then you bring it in at the end. If you're doing 1 loom, you will lay 11 straight ones and then bring it in. If you're using 3 looms, you're going to lay 37 straight ones and then bring it in. So if anyone is a little confused, I will have all that written down below. Other than that, you're just going to follow everything I'm doing. I just wanted to get everyone started in case you're using a different size, because you can't just go all the way down to the end on this one because of the way we lay the center bands. But but 1 loom and 3 looms, you can go down to the end. I've just laid my 23rd band, so I am going to now bring it into the center. And like I've already said, if you're doing the same 2 looms like me, do not bring it down here as far as you can go. That will not work. We have to end here because of the way we lay the centers. I don't want to keep repeating myself, but I want to make sure people understand that. So you're going to do the same exact thing on the left side. And lay your border all the way down until you meet the other side. Okay, so make sure that you brought it in and everything is lined up. We're going to come back to the beginning. And once you are caught up to me, we are going to choose the color that sits deep in the center, which on this one is that sheer clear pink right there. You see it more so on the back side. So I am going to use clear. So we are going to be doing some long stretched bands in the center, going straight. So from the very first pin right here, you're going to place it on and stretch it up 2, like that. And where the last one ended is where your next one will start. Then you stretch it up 2, just like we did the first time. Where the last one ended is where your next one starts. And keep laying these long stretched center bands all the way up until you reach the very end. Like so. So you will want to go through, push those down, and if they got twisted, you can fix that now as well. I'm going to push mine down and I'll tell you what we're going to do next. Alrighty, so now we are going to lay the center band here, which is my burgundy. I like to match this band with whatever I used for my border, because we already have to choose 4 colors and choosing a 5th is hard. So I'm going to use the same color, but it's up to you if you want to. We're going to lay some short straight bands in the center. So from this first pin, you're just going to lay a normal straight one like that. But you will not lay one again right after that. You will come up to the next pin. So wherever your next long stretched band starts is where your short one will go as well. Like that. So come up to the next pin, and that's where your next one will go. And you keep doing it like that, leaving a space in between. So that's what it looks like now. Now, as we start getting more layers on, sometimes the short one may push down in there like that. It does not matter. Don't worry if it does that. It will not affect anything at all. So just ignore that. So go through, push those down, and I will tell you the next layer. So we are going to lay some diagonal bands now, and we're going to be alternating between 2 different colors. So first, the color you're going to choose is going to be what is turquoise on this one here. I'm going to stick with turquoise for this design as well. Starting on the center, we're going to do a long diagonal stretch up to the left. And you will always do the same thing on the right. So it came up to the second pins on the left and the right. I'm going to push it down a little. And now we are going to keep that color close by, but we're going to choose our next color, which for this bracelet is the yellow. It's actually these bands that sit right here that we're laying right now. So it kind of makes like a circle under there. But I'm going to use purple for that. So coming up to the very next center one, and you'll do another long diagonal stretch in both directions. So we will keep doing that, alternating between these 2 colors all the way up the loom. We actually don't lay them on the very, well, towards the end I'll explain it because it's a little weird what we have to do. Okay, so I am near the end of my loom, and I wanted to show you what we're going to do. It's going to look weird, but trust me, because of the looping, we have to do this. No matter what loom length you're using, you will follow exactly what I'm saying right now. So if you look at the center row, if you start counting from where the border ends, that will be 1, 2, 3, 4. So make sure that we're in the same place. I have 4 open pins here. I am supposed to lay a purple diagonal V right now. I'm not going to do that. Come down to the next pin and lay whatever color you were supposed to lay, which for me is turquoise. And you do that as normal. So it would have been my turquoise and then another purple and then turquoise. But we have to not lay that purple one there. And the only reason I do this is because when we loop, If I laid that band, those bands stick out and look very messy and loose down here at the end for closing it. So that's why we do not lay them there. So that's what I wanted to show you guys. So go through, get all of those pushed down if you haven't done so already, and I'll tell you the next set of bands we're going to lay. So now we're going to be laying some diamond shape bands in the center, and that is going to be what is this yellow band right here. So it's actually like a straight band in there. It's kind of hidden under the center band, but that's the band we're laying now. So I'm going to stick to the same color combination as this, so I'll be using purple. But if you wanted to do a different color like on this one where the white is, you could do that too. That is up to you. So we are going to come up to the second pin in the center. It's also the second pin on the sides as well, because we're going to be wrapping it around all 4 of these pins. So I start on the center, so the second center pin, I stretch it to the left, to the middle, and to the right. So it's like a diamond. I like to use my hook, go through and straighten that band because it almost always gets twisted. I'll probably lay on mine and then go through at the end and fix it. So that's where our last one ended. We're going to just literally come to the next pin up, and that's where our next one will start. So putting on the center, stretch it to the left, onto the middle, and to the right. Zoom in. So we're going to come up to the next one here and do the same thing, going over to the left, the top center, and the right. So that's what we're going to do all the way up. If you find it too hard to do in one motion, this is the next 4 we're supposed to lay it on. You can just lay it horizontally like that, and then use your hook and stretch it like that. It's completely up to you. Like I said, when I'm done laying all these, I'll go back through with my hook and untwist them because I don't like when it's all twisted. So even though there's no diagonal V's, or not diagonal V's, but there's no purple there, we're going to still lay this diamond band there. We are not going to do anything past that. So down here at the end, we will not lay anything. So that is where my last one will go. So go through, straighten that out if you need to. I am going to push mine down and straighten them out, and then we can start the looping. Okay, so to start looping, we are first going to need to place our cat band on. So grab one more of this green border color and wrap a band around 2 times on the center pin, like so. We're going to be looping up the center bands, and there's 2 of them, and I'm referring to the straight ones. There's 2 of them. We have the long stretched clear one and the short green one. We will also be doing a step where we have to flip a band over after looping some up, and I want to show you real quick which band that is while it's easy to see. So if I turn my loom like this, if you look at the back side of every other row, there are 4 bands. You count 1, 2, 3. The 4th band down, which is that long clear one right there, is the one we'll be flipping over. So hopefully that tip can help you when that time comes. So we're going to go into this first cat band or not the first cat band, the first pin. We're going to grab the first band down, which is my clear, and you're just going to loop it forward. Then you're going to go into that pin and grab the top band, which will now be green. It will alternate between 2 colors. So it will be clear, then green, clear, then green. So now bring your green forward. And every time we loop twice, we have to flip that clear band over. So we're going to go behind this pin right here, inside the purple diamond, and we need to grab that bottom long clear. Like I said, it is well, now it's going to be the 5th band down because we just laid that green on there. But if you come down in here, reach your hook down, it's the 5th band back there, and it's the back side of that long clear. You're going to flip it up and over, and it locks it right there. So if you are unsure what I just did, I will be doing it again. So we are going to go into that pin, push everything back, grab the bottom band, which will be clear, loop it straight. Go into that pin, grab the only band in there, which is green. So we looped it up twice, and now we need to do that flip again. And another way you can remember it is whenever we have the diamond, we know we need to go in there and flip that band. Now, there are more bands now, and this is why it can get tricky, because we have all these bands in the way. So if you have your hook and you're right at the back of the pin, do you see this little teeny tiny opening right here? If you're right behind the pin, put your hook down in there, bring your hook over to the side, and then you need to push towards yourself and under to grab this clear right here. So it's the 5th band down, and you're going to bring it over and release. So I know that is the hardest part of this entire design. So we'll go down in that pin, loop up the clear, loop up the green, and we have to flip again. So go behind the pin where that opening is right here, because you don't want to accidentally be inside one of these diagonal bands. You have to be in the middle of them. So if your hook goes directly behind the pin and straight down, you'll be good to go. And then bring your hook to the side, push under, and we're grabbing that back side of that long clear band and bring it over. Excuse me, sorry, my throat is scratchy. So we're going to do that again. So we will loop up twice. And we have to flip again. So I'm at the top of my loom, and you will flip the top one as well. So just reach back here and grab that bottom one like that and flip the clear up. So we are going to stay at the top of our loom, and we're going to start the next step. So if you start counting from this top right corner pin, count that as 1, 2, 3. We're going to come 3 pins down, and you're going to see my diagonal purple. All of my diagonal purples are going to be moved down 1 pin. So I'm going to grab my purple. I'm going to lift it off of the pin and just stretch it down to the pin below it. We're going to do the same on the left side. So the 3rd pin down, which will be my purple, take it off. You don't do any twisting or turning. We're just literally stretching it down to the pin below it. And this is similar to what I did in my crisscross bracelet, where we kind of just move bands around. So we're going to come now down to the next pin. It will always be the purple bands. So you're going to grab that and pull it down to the next one. Come up here, grab your purple, and stretch it down. This is where it ended. I'll come down to my next one. and do that again. So we're just going to be pulling all of these down one row. The left side's always harder for me to do, just because the angle is a little bit weird. You'll notice that we are pulling all of the bands and putting them on top of our diamond. So if you're reaching into a band to move it from inside the diamond, then you know you're moving the wrong one. You should be placing your band on top of the diamond one, not going inside the diamond one to move that one, if that makes sense. I keep hitting my tripod. So that was actually the last one that we needed to move down. We don't have any purple here, and that one stays there because it's not purple. So it may look kind of weird, but that is what it should be looking like. So go through and make sure that you transfer them all down. And to check, you can make sure that every other pin has nothing on it. So if you've done it all correctly, we can come back to the beginning now. And we're going to start looping the rest of it. So we're going to come down into the cap band and loop out the beginning. So the top band will go to the right. The next one will go to the left. And for this part, I am going to do one row at a time. I just find it to be easier for you guys to follow along. So we are going to take the second band down on this pin here, which is my turquoise. And we're going to be stretching it up to meet where we laid that purple band. So where that diamond is, that's where we're going to stretch the turquoise up to. So go into the corner pin, grab your second band, and we're going to do a long stretch. And we're going to connect it up here. And that's where my purple band is and my diamond. So it should be there. Then you will back up and we will loop the border up 2 times. So this will be 1, go into that pin and do it again. So now we need to flip over that diamond band on this pin here. So if you just look directly behind it, you can see my purple diamond band right there. It's this band sitting right here. So you can see it pulling from in the center. So you're just going to reach behind the pin, grab the diamond band and pull it over and let it go. Once you flip that over, we're going to do the same step that we did with the turquoise. So you're going to push back the top, and you do have to kind of be like right here with your hook. If you're too much to the side, it doesn't work. See how there's too much stuff in the way? So you kind of have to be right in the center of those bands to move them out of the way. Grab your turquoise diagonal, and just like we did last time, we're going to stretch it up 2 pins so that it connects to where our purple and our diamond band is. So we will back up 2 because now we need to do the border. So this is where we connected it. Back up 2. We're going to go in here, push everything out of the way, and grab the very bottom band. And that's our border. You're going to loop it up once, go in that pin, and loop up the border again. So now we need to flip the diamond band again. So looking right behind the pin, there's a lot of bands in there. Make sure you're grabbing the band that wraps behind that pin there. So if you pull on it, you can see that it's the right one, and flip it over. And then you're going to go into the same pin again and push back. You're going to grab your turquoise and loop it up 2 pins. So we're going to keep alternating these steps. So we'll go back to the border. You loop that up once and then twice. You're going to reach behind the pin and grab your diamond part of the band and flip it over the pin. Go in that pin, push back. Grab your turquoise diagonal band and loop it up 2. And then don't forget to always come back and loop up 2 of your border bands. We will flip our diamond band again. We will loop our turquoise diagonal band and then loop that up twice and come back to do the borders. So this is definitely a harder design. So just as I always say, take your time. So I am 2 pins from the top, and we're going to do the same thing as far as flipping the diamond band, but there's nothing else there, so it might look different to you. So just make sure you're grabbing the purple diamond band and not the one under it. Flip that like you've been doing. And then for the turquoise, instead of looping it up 2, you're just going to loop it straight up to the pin above it. And then do not forget to go back in and loop that border up, because you don't want things to fall apart. And then we'll go into the corner and loop that band into the center. Sorry, I started getting a phone call and it distracted me. So make sure you've done that. And then when you are caught up with me, come back and we will do the left side the same exact way. So starting on the first pin on the left, we're going to grab the turquoise band and we're going to loop it up 2 pins, which will connect to where our diamond is, just like on the other side. Now this side is a little harder for me to loop, so I kind of hug this pin here and then connect it like that. It's kind of weird, like the way I swoop my hand, because it can feel a little strange, and you'll see what I mean when you're doing it. But don't forget to come back and loop your border up twice. Go behind the pin and grab your diamond and flip it over. Go in that pin and grab your turquoise. Loop that up twice, or not twice, sorry, loop that up to the second pin. Back up and do your 2 borders. So it's the exact same process that we did on the right side. So I am at the second pin from the top, like on the on the right side. And we're going to grab our diamond band and flip it over. It looks a little different than the rest, remember? And then when you go in, grab your turquoise and just loop that straight up. Don't forget to go back in the pin again and grab your border, because it will fall apart if you don't loop that border up. And then lastly, bring the corner band into the center. And that is it. We're going to grab our C-clip. We're going to reach down back here. I'm going to go into the top center and push all of those bands out of the way until you grab the very bottom loose one that we laid there earlier. Bring both ends together and C-clip it. Now this bracelet is hard to get off of the loom. You have to pull a little bit of sections at a time because the center is so tightly on there. So you definitely need to give the bracelet a good stretch to help tighten everything up and get it to fall into place. And I am going to give you a little tip on how to get these bands untwisted, but it just clicked in my brain that we're supposed to do an extension and I completely forgot. We already put our C-clip on, but that's okay. So what you're going to do is we will worry about fixing it in a second, but wherever your C-clip is, that one band that the C-clip is going through, put your hook through it like that and take that C-clip off. I do apologize. I completely forgot. I'm so used to not doing extensions. And get your loom. You actually only need one loom. I am going to use 10 extension bands. You may need more or less. And I like to count backwards because I like to be able to attach my bracelet down here. It's easier. So going this way would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm going to come back here to where there would be enough to lay 10 of them. And we're going to lay a zigzag pattern to create our extension. Like I said, you might need more or less depending on your wrist size. I like my bracelet tight, so 10 is enough for me. You may need more. My wrist is smaller usually than most, so you probably will need more. So now we are going to turn our loom around. You're going to get your bracelet. I have it facing up, the pattern facing up, and carefully slide the bands down to the end and attach the entire 2 bands that are on your hook onto the pin. Make sure that they are both attached like that. Hold your bracelet down so it doesn't go anywhere. And we're going to loop this zigzag up. So just go in and bring the purple over to the right. Then you go into that pin, grab that band, and you literally just loop it in a zigzag all the way up. I'm sure everyone knows how to do this part. It's very easy. And then you can just pull this out and attach your C-clip, or you can use your hook to pull it off of the loom. And this is where we will attach our C-clip. Like so. So, and then obviously you would just locate your cap band down here and connect it. But I do want to show you guys really quickly how to fix any bands that are twisted. My opaque seemed to twist pretty badly on some of these, but it's a pretty easy fix. So you just need to roll the bands. So I don't like how that purple band right there is twisted. So I flip my bracelet upside down since this one's on the left. I pull it out some and I roll it to the right. And then stretch it till it tucks back in. If you roll in one direction and it twists more, then roll it in the opposite direction and it will untwist it. And you do the same thing with these bands, but I pull it out to one side and sometimes that alone fixes it. But sometimes you do have to roll them as well. And to fix these center bands here, where my green are, you can flip the bracelet over if you need to. And the green back here, you just pull up on it like that if you need to tighten any of them. It tightens them on this side. That's what you do to get those bands laying nice and straight. But I feel like I have been babbling for a while. This was a pretty long video. But that's it, guys. That is how you create my Butterfly Kisses bracelet. I hope it wasn't too hard for you guys. I know it was a little challenging. A little harder than I thought once I got to filming it, to be honest. But let me know down below if you guys do like this design. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. It helps me out and gets my video out to more people. And also don't forget to share your rendition with me on Instagram. But that will be it for today, you guys. I really appreciate you watching, and I'll see you soon at my next video. Thanks, guys. Bye.